What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your one source for everything cool in video games. Now, you can always be a part of the show. All you have to do is go to insidethegame.ca or hit us up on Discord, where there you can submit your clip and end off our show. Don't forget, you can also head to our YouTube channel and head over to Twitch, where we're streaming there all the time over at twitch.tv/theofficialitg. Each and every week, we're posting new content on all of our social channels, so make sure you check those out. Now, coming up on this week's show, our bald-headed assassin is back. Agent 47 is making his return with Hitman 3. We're checking out a ball breaker game. Yeah, I said that. And Cyberpunk is back in the news again. So let's get started with the Inside Scoop. We recently jumped back into the world of Marvel's Avengers to check out Kate Bishop's new storyline. And we had a blast, but once again, short-lived. New character, we only got one, but we do know Hawkeye is just around the corner. Crystal Dynamics went on their developer stream to let us know about a few more insights. Of course, new fixes are on the way, but the much needed gear is going to be upgraded. Whole new game mechanic is coming for the gear, and we can't wait to see what they're going to bring. As well, they also touched on the fact that they're bringing more villains. When are we going to see more villains? Who are these villains going to be? They didn't go into any detail, but they did say a new villain is coming when we get Hawkeye, which is supposed to be soon. So, who do you think the new villain is going to be? Let us know at insidethegame.ca.
So there's been a little commotion lately surrounding Fall Guys. That's right, the 2020 smash hit game on PlayStation and Steam. It was rumored recently through some channels out of the UK that there was a chance that finally Fall Guys was going to be seen on the Xbox platform, specifically coming to Game Pass. And even so far as the Game Pass Twitter account actually wrote Fall Guys to Game Pass, and with a kind of couple sets of sneaky emoji eyes. And that kind of kicked off this whole rumor mill, starting that Fall Guys was indeed coming to Game Pass. Well, this didn't take long to kind of catch a blaze here, but Mediatonic had to step in, made a statement on their official Twitter account, and said that they don't have any plans at this time to add Fall Guys to the Xbox Game Pass service. That doesn't mean we're not going to see it on Xbox or even the Switch here in the future, but it is a little disheartening to know that they've still probably got some sort of exclusivity deal with Sony, because Fall Guys did come to the platform on PS Plus for free when it launched. So I'm sure they've got a certain term that they're going to be on that platform for till they can open up to other platforms, albeit Xbox or Nintendo. So it does kind of suck to have that happen, but I have a feeling that this game is only going to be off the Xbox platform for just a little bit longer. I feel like at some point here in the near future we are going to see it, because it's just one of those games that can be played on any platform, and the fact that we can get it on every platform may allow that ability for crossplay. So I think it's just, a matter of time here, but if you were hoping for it, you better keep your fingers crossed, because I think you might just be waiting just a little bit longer to see Fall Guys on Xbox.
Oh, it's that time of year again. I'm talking about Rainbow Six Siege, and in particular, I'm talking about the Pro League. Yes, the road to SI is beginning on January 21st, and will be happening till February 22nd. This will be getting us ready for the Pro League. Finally, I get to cover it again on the show. I've been looking forward to this since the last time I did my video. So heading into it, what do we get with this event? We get some skins. We also get a rework of the map that we had, Stadium, last year. I'm quite interested to see how this one plays out, because the first one was a little tough. So, heading into it, man, I can't wait to get more lore, I can't wait to get more skins, and just this cutscene alone is wicked.
We've seen COVID-19 reign its terror on the games industry, whether we've seen bugs or just write-out delays for games, which are never necessarily a bad thing. It looks like one of the highly anticipated God of War Ragnarok could actually be launching this year. Over on Sony Santa Monica's Twitter feed, they posted a new job for an unannounced title. Does that mean God of War Ragnarok is ready to go? We'll find out later this year, hopefully. But if you're looking for more God of War, we're right now live every day, Monday to Friday, on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, going back and getting ready for Ragnarok.
You can't get away from it. It hit the big screens in 1987 and 2018. It also appeared in Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands and Mortal Kombat 10. And in April 2020 even got its own game, The Hunting Ground. That's right, I'm talking about the Predator. Well, the famous alien is now part of the 0 Point Arc guest character on Fortnite's Chapter 2 Season 5 Battle Pass. It'll be joining the likes of the Master Chief from Halo and also Kratos from Gods of War. You have to level up the current Battle Pass to unlock the Predator outfit, and they can earn additional Predator themed cosmetics by completing Jungle Hunter quests. Those unlockable cosmetics include the Predator outfit with a built-in biohelmet online emote, a unique heat vision hunter spray, a banner and an emoticon. I have to tip my hat for Epic Games and Fortnite. First of all, the game is free to download and it's so much fun. Also, with the map changing, the iconic characters and the live events making the game always fresh and exciting, no wonder why this is still one of the most popular Battle Royale games out there.
Nate, this week we're checking out a top-down RPG that reminds us a lot of Link to the Past.
Alright, Corey, so hopping into Ocean's Heart. Man, this game, I think it did a pretty good job at mimicking Zelda, that old school Zelda game.
Oh, for sure.
You know, hopping straight into it, you're set into this, this new world, which I thought was also very interesting. And right off the hop, your village is attacked and your sister gets kidnapped. And when that happens, your father's like, all right, I gotta go out and save her. Then time passes by, and then you, Tilia, you gain some strength and you go on an adventure to go save your family. And that's kind of how the whole game starts, man.
Yeah.
You start off in this village and it's pretty interesting. There's not just the main quest, there's all sorts of little side quests that you can do, and some of them actually give you choice, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, you know what? Like you said, there's the main quest that we follow here, the main story where you're looking for your father and your sister in hopes to find them and defeat the pirates that attacked your village. And Tilia is kind of this upstart character. She's trying to prove something. She wants to show everybody that she's tough, she can hunt down monsters, and everybody in the town knows it. They know what her intentions are here. They know she's an adventurer and that's what she's going to be. And you kind of get that feeling right from the beginning. And like I said, it is very Link to the Past, right? Like I feel like you're playing a Zelda game here, which I mean, to this game's credit is a great respect, because the environments and the audio just kind of immerse you a little bit in this kind of pixelated universe. And I really, really enjoyed it. But like getting back to the quests here, you have your main quest, but you do have these side quests, and they pile up pretty quickly, I found. Yeah. Like if you start talking to everybody, and everybody's got something to say here, so it's not one of those games where you should really skip by, because whether it just be some lore about the area you're in or some of the story that's going on, or it throws you into one of these side quests that you can choose or choose not to do, but they do stack up pretty quickly, and it does help you kind of navigate around the map. It kind of sends you to certain areas. Mm-hmm. But what I found was, when I finally got to the map in the menus, is that the map doesn't offer you a whole lot other than just kind of the general area you're in. This is a grid-based game, right? We're going from screen to screen, so it would be nice to see a grid-based map where we could, kind of understand exactly where we are in this certain areas, because when you're asked to go look for something or search for a certain item in an area, you can go to that area and it'll tell you at the top of the screen where you've entered it, like when you've entered in, and then you don't get really any other guidance for where you're at other than that, unless you go into a new area. So you're just kind of roaming around sometimes, and I found running into some of these enemies, especially early on, turned out to be pretty difficult. Did you have any issues running into those guys?
Oh man, the difficulty in this game. It's wow, it's there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Like right off the hop, you're kind of dying fairly consistently. There's quite a different variety of enemies, and I think they're pretty cool. And I must say, once you've, dare I say, master the combat in the game, there is quite a bit of satisfaction to it. But alongside all these monsters, man, there is a bit of jank with this game. I found that the combat was a little bit clunky. You know, your hitbox is very confusing. Sometimes when you when you swing your sword, you'll hit an enemy, and then other times you won't, especially when they're in the, the right or the left of you. Especially when you're hitting plants or picking up items, you need to be really spot on. So I found it's just like this kind of awkward unsmoothness to this game.
Yeah, and this game offers controller support, which is nice. But I did start off using keyboard and mouse, and the keyboard controls were fairly basic. But what I found was that the menu system here is it's weird. You press the menu button to pull up the menu, then you have to scroll through each menu screen to get to whether it be your inventory or the map or just the actual game menu. So there's or your quest, sorry, that's the other screen that you're kind of scrolling through. It'd be nice to have dedicated keys to just take me to that screen and toggle it on and off, because sometimes I don't want to scroll through my map and my game menu just to get over to where my quests are. And it's just, it seemed just like the controls, it seemed kind of clunky. It wasn't what I wanted. So in that note, I was like, well, maybe I'll try the controller and see if this helps out anymore. So the controller definitely made the movement of the player on the map a little bit smoother, but again, there are some hitbox issues that even the controller has a tough time getting to. So it's those diagonals, right, in games like these where that's always the tough part, but this one just didn't, it seemed off. Like even the basic enemies were tough to hit sometimes because their movement patterns are random. So if they make a move and you swing and they're in that corner, sometimes they can hit you. You don't have an option. Like you're taking it no matter what. So it was a little difficult to get into this, even with the controller. I do like the fact that you have the choice whether or not to play with the keyboard or the controller. But again, it's just, there's something missing here, and the jankiness with the controls is definitely kind of what gets you caught up every once in a while here.
And just something as simple as your interact button being your dodge button, man. There's so many times I'm trying to talk to someone or pull a plant and then I just roll. Sometimes even roll off a ledge or something. That was an oversight. Your left bumper on the controller, or your L1 if you're using a PlayStation controller, that's your menu, and you don't press B or circle to back out. You have to press the menu button. There's just, the controls, man, was definitely a bit of a, I don't know if it was a rush thing or they just need to maybe look at other games and see what they do, but it wasn't really doing it for me, man. And another thing too, kind of talking about the combat, you can't heal while in combat. There's no hotkey. You are forced to go to your menu and then just eat a couple apples or whatever your potions are.
Yeah, few and far between.
And then get back right into it. So I don't know. I was trying to figure out if that's like a direction choice that he made because, the combat would be too easy if it was just a hotkey, or, I don't know, but it kind of took me out of it a little bit. Because, you have all these buttons, and a lot of them are not being used in this game. You have your X and your Y for your magic, which is another thing in this game, which is cool. You have different abilities, like a shield or a repulse beam, or you have, electric shock. So, there's some variety and some draw to this game. I don't know, as I'm playing it, I'm kind of getting these mixed feelings. But honestly, I could say that if you're looking for this style of game, and you haven't played Zelda, or you already have played Zelda, then this could be for you, man.
Yeah, this is definitely a top-down RPG that fits well into the genre. Like, it is a good replacement for a Zelda Link to the Past style game where, those are one of those games that are timeless. Like, even now that game still stands up. You can jump in and play. And Ocean's Heart has taken enough from that game and put it into their game that I think this game will attract a fan base here and people that are just looking to try a new top-down RPG because Zelda is so kind of out there. It's been played, we've all played it a million times, so everybody's looking for something new. And I do like the weapons that we get here are very Zelda-like. We get the boomerang, we get the mace, we get the shield and the bow and arrow. So I mean, we get all that cool stuff, but again, it's all in this game, so it's all things we get to discover and learn about and use in this game, and following along Tilia's story all the way through this beautiful environment. So this game has a lot going for it. It's just there are some things here that if you can look past some of the control issues and maybe just how the menu system's laid out, there could be a really, really great game here for some people. So honestly, man, I think we gotta score this one. So if you gotta give Ocean's Heart a score out of 10, what are you gonna give it, man?
Well, man, one thing we have to mention too, this game has been crafted by one person, man.
Yeah. Max
A
Moraz.
single
Max
individual.
Moraz.
So
Right.
this, like that, hearing that alone, I have to give them more credit. Like, this is honestly an incredible game for one person to craft. So for me, man, it's actually going to get a 6.5.
Oh, nice. You know what? Again, we talked about this before we started the review, that this one was a kind of a tougher one to score for us because we wanted to like it more than we did. There's some things holding us back here, but there is a solid game here, and I think for people that are fans of this genre, they're gonna love this one. So I'm just below you with a 6. Ocean Heart is a great top-down RPG that pulls a lot of inspiration from Zelda Link to the Past, but the awkward control scheme and the clunky menu system can be really frustrating at times.
Hey Nate, the best assassin in the world is back. It's Agent 47.
Oh, baby.
Nate, you and I jump back into the world of assassination with Hitman 3. Agent 47 is back for maybe one last time. This is wrapping up the trilogy of the Hitman franchise, and the way the story goes, I'm honestly, no spoilers here, but man, that was a good story. I just wish it was a little bit longer for me. I wrapped up the whole campaign in about 8.5 hours, and I had a great time. I was hooked from the minute I started to the minute it ended. But to me, I just wanted a little bit more. More is sometimes not always the best, but for this one, I think they could have done just a little bit longer in the story. I think they nailed the story. So maybe more would have been just kind of just slush pushed to the side. So maybe they are at a sweet spot here, but at 8 hours, honestly, it just left me wanting more, I guess, right? Is really the big thing.
Man, after playing each and every level and how they play, they look each so different and look amazing. So to get 2 more levels like that, I would not have complained, because honestly, this game is very breathtaking, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's off the very hop. The first mission, like, we can't give too many spoilers, but man, you're way up high, and then you go in this building, and it's just, we're playing on the Series X. It looks incredible. Like, Man, it looks next gen, man. That's what I can say about this.
No, absolutely. They nailed the graphics for the whole setting. You know, Hitman's always had its own unique art style. They've gone for that realistic, but it's still got this bit of a, I don't know, touch to it, right? This other side of this realism. And you always know when it is Agent 47, whether it's his bald head with the barcode on the back or not. You can still get that sense of, hey, this is a Hitman game. This is how it feels. This is how it runs. And going in from Hitman 1, 2, and now 3, it still feels like we're a bit of that episodic feel from 1, where there's only 6 levels. And to me, that's where it was kind of like, holy crap, I'm done already. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa, that ended a little shorter than I was hoping to be. But it was a good time. Man, there's so many times I walked in, took out my targets, and just walked out the front door. Like, that is satisfying to go in there and not, you know, mess anything up. There are definitely times I kind of really goofed up and I tossed someone over the ledge and there's a guard there. I had no idea the guard was there. It's like, oh, my bad. Busted. So,
oh man, this game's a lot about trial and error, I feel like, because there's so many ways to approach every situation. Like, some of these maps, man, they have 80 challenges, so
yeah,
you know, you're not gonna complete everything in 1, 2, 3 playthroughs even. You know,
no.
and that's the beauty of this. There's no wrong way of approaching. Well, I guess if you just go in guns a-blazing, that would be the wrong way, but you know, you can poison someone, make them go to the bathroom, make them puke their guts out, and then drown them in their own puke, which I did. Or, you know, you come up on this rooftop and there's an enemy walking down below and there's a bag of bricks there. Well, let's toss it over the ledge and see what happens. Things like this, man. This game is where this thrives, and I just kept finding myself laughing and just enjoying, honestly, my entire way through.
No, absolutely. The best part about Hitman is the replayability of each level. Like you said, Nate, 80 different challenges on the one. I finished one. It was 13. I'm like, cool, I got 13. Then I look at the list, there's like 80. I'm like, I'm a little short. I gotta go back, right? So the best part is there's just so many options. It's an open sandbox for you to traverse that level and see how you feel about taking out your targets and being as creative as possible. And that's one of the things that Hitman stands out for in the franchise, is just unlimited opportunity, and it's fantastic. The story itself, I want to touch on real quickly because there's, like we said, no spoilers here. The game is just out. But for me, it wrapped up the feel of what I was hoping for the game. Whether that was good or bad will be determined when you finish the game yourself. But it was nice to see how it kind of all came around, finished up, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Obviously, if you played Hitman, it's all about the providence and kind of taking the powers to be, and just one thing leads to another. And yeah, it's definitely more Hitman feel and greatness. I loved the game, dude.
Yeah, man. Just to kind of add on to that, the voice acting, you know,
yeah,
the cinematics, it's all spot on. It feels very movie-esque and just not cheesy. I mean, of course, you have your cheesy voiceovers for the guards, but that's what you want in every stealth game.
For sure. Now, you and I were talking a little bit off camera, and I kind of explained the fact that Hitman 3 almost feels like it went back to Hitman 1. And to kind of explain myself a little bit, is when you move forward with each game, there's some form of iteration. Well, Hitman 1 came out, it was all episodic. That changed when Hitman 2 came out, one complete package and multiplayer. Well, back in August, Hitman 2 lost multiplayer. Here comes Hitman 3, there is no multiplayer. That was completely gone. And for a game mechanic, what comes next is the fact that all we have is a camera that scans certain objects. That was it, right? Like, you kind of want to know where's the next evolution of the Hitman series? Where's the next little gadget that's going to really drive it forward? And a camera just isn't enough to drive that forward. And now there's no multiplayer at all. Now, they did state that back into August, saying that, yeah, we're going to be shutting down servers for Ghost Mode. They did learn a lot, them being IO Interactive, and the fact that they're not going to carry it over to Hitman 3. So moving forward into Hitman 3, we take that step back, going back into Hitman 1 with no multiplayer. So you're basically, okay, so you have to be online to get all your challenges and your leaderboards and stuff like that. So every time, it's just the usual thing. You sign into the game, it logs on, you have to be connected in order to play certain parts of the game. But it's a single player game. So I'm wondering, like, why do you have to be online? There is no more multiplayer. So there's certain things they took out of the game that's just a little disheartening, because it would have been nice to see what else we can do within the Hitman franchise, right? Yeah, I wrapped up the story, but I'm done the story. So now what? Go back and do more challenges? Cool. Contracts are back, right? Contracts are never going to go away. Whether you want to make your own contract, play with your friends, or battle against your friends for leaderboard numbers, that kind of thing. Or you can go into one of my favorite modes, Sniper Assassin Challenge mode, except it's the same maps from Hitman 2.
Oh, man.
So it's not there.
Dude, this is where Hitman takes the biggest hit. They kind of are reusing a lot of things. The tutorial is the exact same from the last 2 games, I think.
Yep.
So that's just reused material.
Yeah.
And then this sniper challenge is something that you and Crystal played a ton of, man.
Oh my
you
God,
spent
absolutely.
hours on the sniper challenge. You would tell me countless nights about, oh, I did this and I did this, and we've been having so much fun playing it. And then the fact that they just didn't even have the heart to put in one extra mission. I don't know. That's just it's kind of sad, man.
Dude, I had to start all over again. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Like, none of my progress carried over from what I had on initially.
That sucks.
So I had to do it all over again. And I was like level 40 or 50, maybe even higher. I can't quite remember. But I spent, between Crystal and I, we spent so many hours on the first level. And then the second one drops, and then the next one drops. Yeah, we jumped back into those. We had a good time. But moving in, I saw like, oh, yo, sniper challenge is back. Let's go. Get in there. And it's like, haha, I've done all these.
No.
47.
Nate, you and I had a great time playing Hitman 3. It's nice to be back in the world of Agent 47. And for me, I've had a difficult time coming up with my score. Diana Burnwood is back. Her voice is so well done. Agent 47 has this personality and a life that he brings to the game. And just with open opportunities of way you can take out your targets, they're just endless. But that's kind of where it stops. If you're a campaign person, you're in for 8 hours, and that's it, because there is no multiplayer. The sniper challenges are the same thing again, and there's no real enhancement of gadgetry or some kind of gimmick or mechanic that really takes it to that next level. Introducing a camera just isn't there. It's not enough to say, oh man, look at this new tech you need to kind of get in on, or something else you need to experience. For me, it's Hitman 1, 2, and 3 as a complete package. It's fantastic. Hitman 3 is just more Hitman, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I was hoping for a little bit more, and that's why I'm there with an 8.5.
Well, man, I think you pretty much hit everything spot on. I mean, I don't know if I need to repeat everything you said, but this game is absolutely breathtaking. It is definitely a next-gen looking game on the Series X.
Yep.
I'm here with an 8.
Nice.
Hitman 3 has incredible mission design along with breathtaking scenery. Its major flaws are lack of innovation and the fact that there are no new sniper missions.
They want you.
Well, Nate, it looks like Cyberpunk is back in the news again. Over at Bloomberg, Jason Schreier, one of the best in the business, actually got some discussions with over 20 developers that were current and former employees of CD Projekt Red to talk about the disastrous launch of Cyberpunk 2077. And I highly recommend you go over there and check out his article. We're just going to touch on a couple highlights that really stood out to us. But Nate, this dude, like,
Ooh. Where do we get started on this mess?
Exactly, right? So earlier in the week, we saw an actual apology come out from one of the head over at CD Projekt Red. A 5-minute video was out, and he was apologizing, saying that they did not meet the quality standard that they were looking for, and that the entire leadership team are deeply sorry for this. Now, as I watched that video, most of it came across as I'm sorry to our investors kind of thing, who were misled and misguided on the journey and launch of CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077, because prior hype to the launch of the game, Nate, sold something like 13 million copies before and after launch, within the first 10 days actually of launch. 13 million copies of the game. So that's PC, Stadia, Xbox One, Series X, S, PS4, PS5.
That's even on the PS4 and PS5 before it got pulled.
Well, that's just it too, right? So that's the other side of it as well, is that it actually got pulled, which is something that's completely unheard of from the PlayStation Store, because it was just kicking people out and just locking the console up, and it was just one problem after another after another. And the biggest thing is, after reading Jason's article, is that, and we all kind of figured this as well, they all knew. Nate, they knew the state of the game.
They had to have known. There's no way that you could tell me that this slipped through the cracks, man. I've seen this. I've witnessed this on the original consoles, and it is unplayable. Man, they delayed this game how many times, and you're telling me that they thought it was ready? Or that they didn't know, or whatever? No.
Well, they stated that they did extensive testing and never came across some of the possible bugs and issues that console players were expecting. So yeah, right. Where yet in some of the internal team that Jason was able to speak with said, oh no, we knew about these bugs. They just didn't have the time to fix the bugs before the game launched. So outright, CD Projekt Red just completely lied to all of its fans, and sounds like a lot of the investors as well. And I kind of question now the future, because we talked about this game for years, Nate, and you know, I was asked, do you think this game will have bugs? And I said, not a chance, because of The Witcher and how polished that was by the end of their life cycle over there on the consoles and stuff like that, that everybody built this hype and the standard you put the company on, and you kind of had something, you had them on a high pedestal. And man,
we did for a long time, man. And dude, E3 2018, they had their huge presentation, and everybody that came out of it that witnessed it was like, if this is the game, this is amazing. And they claimed that it was. But in fact, it was not. They wasted almost half a year, a few months, man, developing a demo for E3, when they could have spent that time maybe actually fixing some of these bugs that are just atrocious.
No, absolutely. It's such a disappointment to hear that that's how that actually went down. And like, getting back to Jason, he obviously is very good at his job. He does very well at getting the information from the people to kind of lay it out. So if you're going to screw up like this, Jason's going to get to the bottom of it and bust you on it. And that's exactly what's happened. So again, go check out Jason's article over at Bloomberg. It is a phenomenal read. But Nate, like, I don't understand how you could launch a game knowing the state of the game. So when they launched it and they said, okay, the game's gone gold, the internal team, someone actually asked if it was a joke, because they were thinking 2022 is when the game should actually launch, not this year.
And dude, 2022, even if they still wanted to hit that PS4, Xbox One games, that's the end of their cycle. That typically is when all the games kind of stop being made. So they could have still maybe hit that market if they wanted to, or they could have just said screw it and committed to Stadia PC, Series X, and PS5, and then had a game that wouldn't have had this disastrous of a launch, even if it was launched on their proper time, because they clearly wasted way too much time on the original consoles.
No, absolutely. They should
Or
probably
not
should
enough
just,
time.
well, they probably should have just pushed the old gen consoles aside and went new gen. But what they wanted to do is focus on both consoles and double dip. That was their overall goal, was to get money from everybody on both generations. Business-wise, sounds great. In the end, didn't work. Not even close to how the disastrous launch that was. Our good buddy Steve from the show can't even run the game on his console, on his old Xbox. He had to upgrade it to the new one in order to actually run it. You and I both played on the Series X. Corey played it on the Stadia, which actually sounds to run even better over there.
Yeah.
But it's just been an absolute disaster. CD Projekt Red has just dug themselves into a massive hole.
And
a
it
huge
makes me
hole.
sad, man, because they, like, I don't want to rag on too many companies, but lots of companies have made these mistakes. You know, we've had our Anthems, we've had our Avengers, we've had
No Man's
our
Sky.
like No Man's Sky. There's just the list goes on for years back. But unfortunately, CD Projekt Red, man, we've just held them so dear for so long, because The Witcher was great. The TV series that was, you know, The Witcher was great as well. So it's just like, I don't know, so much hype going around this. And it just sucks, man. It really does suck.
It does suck because
Makes
this
me
could have
sad.
it could have been a game of the year contender.
Could have been a game of the decade, man. If it was
Yeah.
2022, wow, I guarantee you would have been talking about this like Skyrim for the next 10 years.
Absolutely.
Instead, now it's a redemption story and not, you know, a graceful story.
Absolutely. Let us know at insidethegame.ca if you got to check out Cyberpunk. Corey, I'm annoyed. Actually, ghost annoyed. Corey, you and I are grabbing our Switch this week and checking out a classic, a ball breaker game, believe it or not, of all things. And you and I are checking out Ghostanoid. What'd you think of this one?
Well, you know what? This is, it's a classic kind of Switch game. This is a very handheld style game. I don't know about you. I didn't even actually put this on my TV. I just played it in handheld the entire time. This game's available on the Switch, but it's also available on the Android and Apple mobile platforms. And it sheds a little bit of light to what this style of game is. It's very basic. There isn't a whole lot of controls here. We're moving our platform left to right and we're breaking bricks. The whole game we're breaking bricks and we're defeating ghosts. We're kind of in this hotel environment. The idea is we need to eradicate these ghosts. So the idea is we've got to hit the ghosts with our balls as they're flying all over the map and they're dropping, debuffs and things that can hurt you along the way. So as you get into this one, let me tell you, the screen starts to get real busy real quick, and you have to start kind of learning everything that is dropping down on top of you, whether it's power-ups or something that the ghost is dropping to affect you. And it takes a little bit of time. There's a bit of a learning curve here. As easy as this game is, the idea is very basic here. We are breaking bricks. We either clear all the bricks or get rid of the ghosts to get past the level. And we have a 3-star rating process here, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, depending on how you make it through these levels. And the more stars you unlock the ability to unlock other worlds as you go through here. I believe this game's got about 75 levels, so there's quite a bit of play here, because you're definitely not getting through these levels the first time through. I don't know about you, Drew, but this definitely is kind of a difficult game at times.
It certainly is, Corey. I had a difficult time just trying to get 1 or 2 stars sometimes, right? Because if you knock out all 3 ghosts, then the level's over. I'm like, okay, that's great, but I still need the stars in order to acquire enough stars to move on to the next world, the next level, that sort of thing, right? So you want to keep getting as many stars as possible. But when you get all this chaos on screen at once, sometimes it's just a little overbearing to me, to be honest. Especially if you're playing in handheld mode, because it is so small on the screen. All of a sudden, it's like littered with all these buffs and debuffs, and all this stuff is falling, and you're trying to... Dude, I lost where the ball was. Like, I don't know how many times on screen. Ugh. And it was really... I kind of got irritated a little bit. I kind of got annoyed, if you would say, with how it just cluttered everything all at once. And yeah, you do kind of learn which ones you want to get, which ones you don't want to get. Blue colored is obviously a perk, and the red ones will hurt you, essentially. Whether that freezes you in place, or it kind of messes with your controls. As you push left, you actually go right. That kind of thing, right? So I don't know how many times I did that. Like, it was just like, oh, I got the clock again. There it goes. Yeah, oh, it's just... Yeah, so there, it's a simple game. Like you said, it's $7. It's got this lighthearted storyline to it. Honestly, kind of reminded me of Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah,
you pop on screen, right? And then they kind of give you the lay of the land of what's going on. You got to get rid of these ghosts. Okay, but you also need to break apart everything. That's how you get rewarded with your stars. You have to bust everything apart. And sometimes, yeah, you can aim the ball and you can kind of have a better idea where it's going. But when these ghosts are all over the screen, and then there's 3 of them on screen, it's like you can't tell where it's gonna go. And then the level's over, and you're like, man, that's not, like, I didn't want it to be over. I needed to still get the rest of my stuff. So then you're instantly restarting the level, and then you hit the 3 ghosts, or they knock you out, and then you're starting it again. It just kind of got into the cycle of rinse and repeat, and it came across a little boring after a while. That was my issue.
But again, there's a level of frustration here, and I have a hard time getting past.
Oh, absolutely. Corey, one of the highlights of the game is actually the workshop. It allows you to go in and upgrade certain aspects to the ball itself, and allows you to have a more powerful fireball in a sense, right? And other perks that are dropping, you're able to upgrade those, and you need those moving forward within each of the rounds. And I thought it was a nice touch to see there. But overall, Corey, my time with the game definitely kind of got that ghost annoyed feel. The ball breaker thing is nice, but it gets old relatively quickly, and that puts me there with a 6.
You know what? I'm just a little bit higher than you. I had fun playing this game, and again, for $7, there's a lot of value here. Like I said, there's 75 levels, some bonus levels. The workshop's there, so there's lots of upgrades and things like that. So there is a lot of good to this game for what you're going to pay for it, but at the same time, it's the same thing over and over again. The environments look a lot alike, and so if you can look past that, you're going to have a good time, but I can only give this one a 6.5. Ghostanoid is a fun brick breaker game with over 75 levels and numerous power-ups. But the screen tends to get busy, and sometimes that makes it really hard to track the ball.
Scott, you and I are grabbing the Google Stadia to check out a Western. Scott, you and I jumped into a spaghetti Western with El Hijo. This is a unique twist on the world of Western games and the fact that we're playing a stealth game. This is a son and mother adventure. The two have been separated, and the son is out to return back to his mother and trying to find him over 29 levels throughout the game. And it's an old school feel of stealth. The overall story, though, is portrayed through cutscenes and no voice dialogue whatsoever. You're just there to kind of portray and get your own feel of what is essentially this find your mother kind of game. And I don't know, man. Honestly, it's a little different for me. I had a bit of a struggle trying to really dive deep into the game. I found things just seemed really repetitive. When I said old school stealth, it's where the characters, the enemy AI, sit there on screen and they literally like pivot from one angle to the next, and you can see the cone with the help of the vision through your bird. And it just has this sense of when you go into the darkness, well, it's a hard edge darkness. So it's like you're either in the shadows or you're not in the shadows. There's no blend of the two, right? Well, you and I are big stealth fans. We're often talking about Splinter Cell, and there's just a different aspect to that game versus obviously where we're at with this one. But it's got this unique art style, a simplistic art style, and simplistic gameplay. What did you think about this one, Scott?
This is a very interesting take on stealth, and I want to say it's classic stealth elements. But this game plays very much trial and error as you kind of stumble your way through these darkened levels, avoiding the monastery and these priests that are inhabiting it.
Yeah.
As you progress from one kind of area to the next, it gets more and more complicated, and the pathing through the levels get more intricate. You have to eventually start moving ladders around, moving these set pieces to clear yourself a path, and it gets a little more complicated pretty early on. This it presents as a very simple idea. You're just a child and you have to stay in the darkness and avoid these characters. But what starts off simple easily gets complicated, and the difficulty spikes kind of early on, I found. There's a couple different devices that you get that can distract enemies and open up a path for you to walk through.
Sure.
There's these stones that you can throw, and that will, send a priest to go investigate what happened, and that gives you just a second to slip by. But it's very quick kind of moments like that, where you're just moving from one chunk of shadow into the next.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The levels are just, it's all in one perspective when you're playing the game too, so you're not able to pivot the camera around for a better or more advantage of an angle. Yeah, it's just all locked. The camera's locked, and you're there to just maneuver the bandits or whoever's on screen in a different manner to get out of the way, so it'll allow you to slip by. And sometimes that slip by is like seconds, and then you've made it. It is a bit of a rewarding feel when you go past one of the objects that you've been struggling with, right? Because often their vision cone will come up and they'll just turn around and they'll get you instantly. But it is, like you say, Scott, trial and error as you progress through these levels. I did experience some levels. You go into a darker scene and it is like super, super dark. That is really hard to see overall what you're supposed to do. So I kind of wish there would have been just drop little hints of light around the area so we have some kind of, not necessarily guidance, but visually be able to see where my character was. Because the minute it went so dark, I couldn't even see where the little boy was at times to maneuver him through the level, or even where to go on the level, because it was all just almost one muted color.
Yeah, and it was a little bit disappointing to me that there was really only one kind of action, that is stealthing and avoiding characters. There wasn't really much to do as a consolation. If you are spotted or busted by one of these priests and monastery bandit type people, you have to just run away and hope that you can get to a shadow fast enough, but it really isn't a very good option. And I know that's probably an artistic choice in the hands of the developers. They wanted to craft this stealth kind of feeling.
Sure.
But it would have been nice if there was just a little bit more of a kind of quick and dirty kind of way of handling some of the events, because like you say, it is dark, or the area and the path you have to take is very complicated, and it's very tempting to just try and sprint through certain sections, but that generally just does not work out in this case.
Overall, Scott, the game is pretty lighthearted, I feel, right? And the art direction kind of emphasizes on that as well. The art style is kind of gave me this paper cutting feel when paper mache kind of thing, where you'd cut out, and a little bit of tearaway-esque feel from the PlayStation days. It's simple, but then when you look for the audio to balance that, the atmospheric audio sounds are super, super light, kind of just vacant in a sense altogether. And it just left me wanting more. I felt a little empty playing the game.
Yeah, I do like the kind of variations that you come across throughout the different levels, but it would have definitely been a huge solid to have some sort of soundtrack backing that and emphasizing certain moments. I feel like there wasn't that emphasis when things do get intense. It's mostly just up for you to interpret when the intensity is really spiking.
I think overall our spaghetti western time is over, Scott. For me, the game it's almost there, but it's not quite enough. I love stealth games, but this just wasn't enough to keep wanting me to push through the game further and further. It just kind of dragged on a little bit. And I was hoping for a little bit more, well, any dialogue, kind of sense of direction with the overall story. Yeah, you're there to go find your mother, and you know, you actually have moments where you play as her, which I thought were really nice, but it just wasn't enough for me. And for me, I'm there with the 6.
I have to agree with a lot of what you said there. There's a lot of aspects in this game, and I do enjoy stealth games in general, that I'm interested in the story and seeing how that develops, and I like the different set pieces and the environments that you go through, so I'm definitely interested. But there is just something lacking that pulls a player in, and it's not to say that the game is really, suffering for that. It's just maybe my personal take, but I have to agree. I think it's about a 6 out of 10 for me as well. A Wild West Tale is an isometric stealth adventure with a unique art style. Unfortunately for us, we found it a bit slow-paced with less action than we would have preferred.
The guys and I are live every week over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg. We were playing one of our favorite games, Rainbow Six Siege. Here it is, the latest in our turnaround with Rainbow Six.
They've breached the window and the door in here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the door. I can't see the window though.
Okay. I'm watching above us too.
Oh, he got me.
Oh,
He just
in the
peeked.
door, in the door.
Yep. Oh, that was quick. Blackbeard.
You got me too.
That was a good shot. I didn't even see him.
Marking 2, they're going to take out the turret though for sure. Yeah, there it goes.
Got one.
Might be. Oh, no way. I thought you had him. All right,
Yeah.
I'm swapping around here.
Come on, you kidding?
So is this ranked or unranked?
This is unranked.
Are you kidding me, man? Blackbeard is a stupid bullet shield.
No, I hate it.
I capped him, man. He's gonna push from the other way, I'm pretty sure.
Come
If I
on.
was gonna bet. I'll watch your
Oh, let's go!
Nice. I'll watch your back. I got your back.
I bet he feels silly.
10 seconds to go.
You get the
Just
window.
gotta take Blackbeard in the belly.
To the
He's got
right.
no health. He's planning in the kitchen.
Bomb diffuser in place.
You're kidding.
The window.
By the window.
He's outside.
Diffuser located. Protect.
Oh,
Disable the diffuser.
He's right here
Is
on
he
ping.
gonna cycle?
He's
Where?
droning. He's droning outside. He's out.
I'm gonna do
Oh,
this.
no, he's not on ping anymore. Or he's still on ping. He's still on ping though. He's out there.
he's about to lose.
He's just shoot you.
Here he comes.
There, it was right there. Oh, I thought you
Nice
had it.
try,
Man.
man. That's so
Oh.
close.
I for sure thought that
If this was an action movie, you probably could have took like 7 more bullets and you would have been able to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's so
Nice try, guys. Take it easy.
Spent a long time in Night City. Still have a long
Yeah, I
time
was
to
gonna
go.
say. Yeah, you're. That's funny. Plugged in.
Yeah. Jacked in.
Yeah.
Oh man, when are they gonna make another Battle Network game? You just reminded me.
Sounds
Mega
like
Man
Assassin's
Battle
Creed.
Network, like 20. I don't know what they're on now, but there's a lot of them.
That'd be cool.
Oh, I didn't mean to take IQ. I was doing something. I was trying to get the stream up on my phone so I could see the chat.
Locate a bomb.
Someone dropped dead on the other side.
And they all have friendly fire activated. Oh, they're in blue bar? Is this a joke? Are they in kitchen again?
There's Legion.
Or are they all just downstairs?
Drone has been
No, they're
Oh, they
they're
are
in
Blue
Blue
Bar.
Bar.
Okay, these guys are just memeing us now.
There's a meme in us.
drone has located a bomb.
Just a, you know, this tip's free, guys. Don't ever pick blue
10
bar.
seconds
I mean, knock on wood. Hopefully, we don't get rolled right now. But this is it's just a really
You can't even
tough
hit my
spot.
drone.
I think
Yeah.
we're okay.
Not great. Not great. I don't see any electronics through that doorway.
There's a camera on the left.
I cannot see from this far back. Oh man. Oh, come on. Got him a couple times. Oh, there's the assist.
Oh, you know, we'll skip the first few shots, and that wasn't too bad, you know.
Hey, well, whatever
Oh,
works.
man.
It's got a Rooney. You dead.
Boosting it.
Op 4 last operator standing.
Oh, nice.
Thanks for the heal.
She's over here.
No problem.
I got him over here, guys.
Oh, I see him.
Get him, Scott. You got the shield.
Oh, it got
Oh.
me first. Ah.
Where?
Got
Oh,
him.
nice.
Nice.
Hey, what's up? Games up?
The most
Hey, game's
cornered
up.
spots.
How'd your
Who the
stream go
foot?
today, man?
Yeah, speaking of AC Valhalla.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job, guys.
Nice.
Well done. That was
I need
quick.
a cool glass outfit. That was really quick, too.
That was quick. Well, that'll wrap up this week's episode. Thank you for hanging out with us. And of course, did you like Hitman 3? Let us know if you played it. Hit us up at insidethegame.ca. And while you're there, you can also drop your clip or submit it over at our Discord channel. This week, we're ending the show off with something a little bit different. The guys and I were hanging out in some Red Dead, and well, I got you covered, Nate. Until next week, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you inside the game.